because I'm elected commissioner, but Steve, I'm a taxpaying citizen of Scott County, and State of Arkansas. I'm also speaking on behalf of the Arkansas Liberty Coalition, a nonpartisan, nonprofit 501c4 organization, which I am a member. My personal views and comments on the matter being discussed tonight in no way represent those of the county board of election commission. The Bill of Rights Sanctuary Ordinance being presented for consideration here tonight is coming no real surprise, given all the media coverage of events going on in places like Virginia. While it's not quite as widely reported in the mainstream media, there's an emerging trend nationwide, cities, towns, counties, and even states enacting sanctuary resolutions or ordinances in an effort to stem the tide of unconstitutional anti-Second Amendment legislation and regulations being imposed by federal and state politicians and bureaucrats. As an example, in Virginia, as in my last count, 91 out of 95 counties, 13 out of 38 independent cities, and 24 towns have adopted Second Amendment sanctuary resolutions. Colorado, 38 out of 64 counties. Illinois, 67 out of 102 counties. Kentucky, 35 out of 120 counties. And the list goes on and on. You see, this is not a regional thing. This is north, south, east, and west. It's a trend occurring nationwide, and for good reason. The ordinance being considered here tonight goes a little bit farther than those offered by other jurisdictions. It declares Scott County to be a sanctuary county by refusing to enforce or cooperate with federal, state, or private entities in any matters contrary to the Bill of Rights. Not just the Second Amendment, but any matters contrary to the Bill of Rights. And it's specified, otherwise specified in the ordinance. Furthermore, this ordinance attaches administrative and civil penalties for violation of county employees. As a minimum, this ordinance serves to give notice to federal and state lawmakers that we the people paying attention. We the people are no longer willing to stand idly by while those in the state and federal government whom we have entrusted to safeguard our constitutional rights continue to pass legislation and regulations which adversely affect not just our Second Amendment protections, but in various forms of the entire Bill of Rights. It would make me proud to see Scott County take the lead here tonight and serve as an example to other counties in Arkansas to enact similar measures. I strongly support this ordinance and I hope that the form court will go forth to pass. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. With that being said, I got a statement. Okay? And then mine's very brief, hopefully. I want to make sure that the court understands that there is Supreme Court rulings that support this, and there is U.S. courts that support this, with 5 Supreme Court decisions. And what it says is, the final line of it, thus the particular phraseology of the Constitution of the United States confirms and strengthens the principle supposed to be essential to all written constitutions, that a law repugnant to the Constitution is void, and that courts as well as their departments are bound by that instrument, the Constitution. I have a firm feeling that everybody here in this room supports the Constitution of the United States and Bill of Rights. There's no doubt in my mind, I'm preaching to the choir. But I want to make sure that everybody understands where I stand. All right? Because 99.9% of the time, I'm the one that's going to end up getting a lot of questions on this by a lot of different folks that are in favor of it or not in favor of it. All right? So I want to make sure everybody understands what my beliefs are. Okay? How many of you have served in the military? Okay? How many of you have been elected officials? everybody here knows the oaths we took, okay? And those oaths were to the Constitution of the State of Arkansas, the Constitution of the United States, and the Bill of Rights is part of that. So here's my statement, and please bear with me. Anybody disagrees with me, talk to me later after the meeting. Okay? As a citizen, I have the same rights as you guys do to express my opinion. Our forefathers put in place a Constitution and Bill of Rights that protects the people. This Constitution is not to give power to the government, but protection to the people from an overbearing hand of the government. The Constitution represents our forefathers' desire to be free of a government that is unjust and oppressive. That the Constitution reserves the right of the citizens to decide on matters which concerns their lives, liberty, property, and ordinary course of affairs. The Constitution needs no explanation. It has been enacted and enforced for 200+ years. It says what it means and means what it says. As written in the Declaration of Independence, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Governments are instituted among men. Unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, the people. Nothing in this ordinance is contrary to the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. This ordinance, simply put, is a declaration that Scott County stands with the citizens of Scott County and the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights to protect their God-given rights as declared in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I'm asking the full court to stand with the people we represent and publicly declare we will uphold the Constitution and Bill of Rights. That's all I'm asking. Okay? So with that being said, does anybody want to, does everybody want to sponsor with one person? Everybody on the full court want to sponsor? Yes. Down the full court.
Sponsors are unanimous.
Nope. That's it.
Ordinance number 2020-2, be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Scott, State of Arkansas, an ordinance entitled Bill of Rights Sanctuary, Scott County. Section 1, the Quorum Court of Scott County hereby finds and declares. Section 2, A, in order to ensure the rights of the citizens of Scott County, which are protected by the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights of that Constitution, which reserves the right of the citizens to decide on matters which concern their lives, liberty, and property in the ordinary course of affairs. Amendment 1, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Amendment 2, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Amendment 3, no soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner prescribed by law. Amendment 4, the right of the people to secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, or by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched, and persons or things to be seized. Amendment 5, no person shall be held to answer for capital or infamous crime unless on presentment of or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land of naval forces or in a militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Amendment 6, in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy trial, speedy and public trial, by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witness against him, and to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Amendment 7, in suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States, than according to the rules of common law. Amendment 8, excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. Amendment 9, the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. Amendment 10, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively and to the people. B, the Reform Court further finds that Section 1 of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. That was passed by Congress June 13, 1866, ratified July 9, 1868. C, the right of the people is further protected from the infringement by state, federal, and local governments under the 9th, 10th, and 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. D, Scott County has the right to be free from the commanding hand of the state and federal government and has the right to refuse to cooperate with state and federal government officials in response to unconstitutional state and federal government measures, and to proclaim a Bill of Rights sanctuary for law-abiding citizens in their cities and county. E, therefore, through the enactment of this document, Scott County, Arkansas is hereby declared to be a Bill of Rights sanctuary county. Section 3A, notwithstanding any law, regulation, rule, or order to the contrary, no agent, department, employee, or official of Scott County, a political subdivision of the state of Arkansas, while acting in their official capacity shall B, knowingly and willingly participate in any way in the enforcement of any unlawful or unconstitutional act as defined herein regarding freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the people to peaceably assemble, freedom of the press, freedom to petition the government for redress of grievances, the right of the people to keep and bear arms will not be infringed in Amendment 1-27 of the Bill of Rights. Section 4, an unlawful act shall consist of any federal, state, or local act, law, order, rule, or regulation which restricts an individual's constitutional rights. Any such unlawful act is invalid in Scott County and shall not be recognized by Scott County and shall be considered null and void and of no effect in Scott County, Arkansas. And this shall include, but shall not be limited to the following. 1, any tax, levy, fee, or stamp imposed on firearms, firearms accessories, or ammunition not common to all other goods and services on the purchase or ownership of those items by citizens. 2, any registration or tracking of firearms, firearm accessories, or ammunition. 3, any registration or tracking of the owners of firearms, firearms accessories, or ammunition. 4, any act forbidding the possession, manner of carry, ownership, or use or transfer of any type of firearm, firearm accessory, or ammunition by citizens of the legal age. 5, any act ordering the confiscation of firearms, firearm accessories, or ammunition from citizens. 6, any prohibition, regulation, and/or use restriction related to ownership or the constitutionally guaranteed lawful use or carry of firearms. 7, any use of county funds or funds given to the county by any entity participate in any gun buyback program or event is hereby illegal. 8, any use of county funds or funds given to the county by any entity to any other government official or entity that violates or has violated any individual's rights as outlined in the Bill of Rights. 9, this ordinance upon passage will be attached to the county's personnel policy. Once passed, all new and renewed county employees will read and sign that they understand this ordinance. 10, any employee who refuses to adhere to this ordinance after passage is subject to termination. And 11, any official, department head, or employee who is in violation of this ordinance shall be subject to a fine of up to $500 and/or termination. D, exceptions. 1, the right to bear arms protection as provided to citizens by this ordinance does not apply to persons who have been or may be in the future convicted of felony crimes unless those crimes have been expunged. 2, this ordinance is not intended to prohibit or affect in any way the prosecution of any crime for which the use of or possession of a firearm is aggregating factor or enhancement to an otherwise independent crime, unless such crimes have been expunged by order of court of competent jurisdiction. Section 5, severability. The provisions of this act are hereby declared to be severable, and if any provision of this act or the application of such provision to any person or circumstance is declared invalid for any reason, such declaration shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance.
Motion that we.
Second reading. Motion second reading by title only.
Second.
Bates,
Yes.
Regan,
Yes.
Catterall,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Ludrow,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Vaughn, Wagner.
Send it out.
Ordinance number 2020-2, be it enacted by the Court of the County of Scott, State of Arkansas, an ordinance entitled Bill of Rights
Tell Sarah.
Sanctuary, Scott County.
Please send the roll call for reading title.
Post it.
Bates,
Yes.
Regan,
Yes.
Catterall,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Ludrow,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Vaughn, Wagner.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2020-2, be it enacted by the Court of the County of Scott, State of Arkansas, an ordinance entitled Bill of Rights Sanctuary, Scott County.
Move to pass on.
Before we vote on that, on exceptions, on item 1, there's a statement that's left out. I will get that in there. He read this statement. Okay, it's just missed that one place. It's in there, it's just in the wrong place. I'll move it up, get your corrected copy. We'll let you vote on it, what we read.
Pass.
You got a motion passed? Second.
Bates,
Yes.
Regan,
Yes.
Catterall,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Ludrow,
Yes.
Robertson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Vaughn, Wagner.
Yes.
Unanimous, folks.